the live. This is KendyK all day. So I'm going to start by going ahead and opening up my pan. And I'm going to get logged in over here so that I can see the comments. And then let's get it started. Let's get the party started for the people. Thank y'all for joining my live. I appreciate you. Okay, so you can see me a little bit. Let me see. Welcome back. Welcome in. Thank y'all for joining the live. Okay, so I have the computer set up. Now I can at least see if you are chatting with me. Thank y'all for joining me. Hit that like button if you don't mind. So the first thing we need to do is you want to take your canned salmon, and that's why this is called a struggle meal. You want to take your canned salmon and you want to drain that. Drain the liquid off of it. We're going to use some of the liquid, but not all of it. So I just got a bowl and my strainer set up here. I'm just going to drain that off. And that is 1 can of Alaskan pink salmon. And y'all, I'm on a high protein diet. That's why I'm having salmon croquettes tonight. High protein, low carbs, and high fiber diet. Now, this is white cornmeal. Typically, I would use yellow cornmeal. But use what you got. Actually, this is what was delivered on the Walmart order. This is KendyK all day. Yeah, always get onion powder and garlic powder, Damo. Yeah, because it doesn't have all that sodium in it. If you mess around and get garlic salt, it's going to be full of sodium. And we don't need that sodium in our life. Not like that, because remember, this is canned salmon, so it is full of salt already. Damo, I got you. I got you, Damo. KendyK will show you how to cook these salmon croquettes. I'll crack 1 egg and always crack into another bowl. Don't crack in here with your salmon because it could be a bad egg. You could get some shell in there. So always crack into something else. And I'm just going to scramble that egg. Y'all, welcome to the live. This is KendyK all day. If y'all don't mind, please hit that like button for me. Let me know you're here. Chicken is in the building. Love it. I do know for sure that Damo and Stardust Dreamer are both YouTube content creators, so check their channels out as well. Okay, we're making these salmon croquettes, y'all. Here we go, here we go, here we go. So I'm gonna go over to the stove and pull off our diced onions that I just sauteed a little bit just to soften them up. So this is where we're at so far. 1 can of flaked salmon. I removed the bones that I saw and then flaked the rest of the meat, the salmon meat. I added 1 egg. a little bit of cornmeal. I might need to add a little bit more. And also some breadcrumbs. Ooh, Rick was playing the lottery? Okay. Okay. And when I go to the stove, I will pull y'all over. So here are my onions, and this is about 3/4 cup of diced onions. Let y'all take a look at that. And this is KendyK all day, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. Hit the like button on your way in if you don't mind. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining this live. I'm on the road to, my first goal is 500 subscribers. So yes, I'm a newish YouTube content creator in these YouTube streets. So these onions, ooh, you see how they're kind of translucent? They are going to be wonderful. 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 KendyK always be trying to sing, and KendyK is not a singer. But you can't tell me that. Not in my own house. You might can tell me that on the street that I can't sing. But you can't tell me that in my own house. I'm going to let my skillet stay warm on a 3. Have my skillet on a 3. And y'all, can you believe that? Bing, bang, and it's done. Just like that. That is all the ingredients for our salmon croquettes. Now, salmon croquettes, you just got to get in there by feel. As far as seasonings, I just use black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder, and some diced onions that I just softened up in the same skillet that I'm actually going to cook these croquettes in. Chicken, do you like salmon croquettes? Or either you might have jack mackerels. You might use mackerel as the fish instead of salmon. You can get mackerels in a can as well. But y'all, I haven't used mackerels in salmon croquettes. I haven't used them in probably 15, 17 years, y'all, because they just literally stink so bad. I can't even, the smell runs me off. So I did take out 1 extra egg because I might need it as a binder. Okay, so I do this kind of by feel. I'm just letting my skillet heat up so we can get a good crust, because you want your croquettes to be nice and crispy on the outside. Ooh, you done took us back. Start us and talk about the commodity cheese. Commodity cheese. Yep. Now y'all tell me, drop in the chat, tell me what y'all normally eat with your salmon croquettes. Because see, this can be for a breakfast or brunch, or it can be, in my case, it's gonna be my dinner tonight. And then I'm gonna meal prep the rest, which means, I'll tell you this right now, salmon croquettes freeze beautifully. Freeze beautifully. And I'm gonna get ready and take our bowl over to the stove. Y'all, thank you for joining my live. I'm missing some likes though. Will y'all double tap that screen and hit your like button? some encouragement. I appreciate that. This is salmon patties. This is salmon patties. Same. Croquette is just a fancy word for salmon patties. Okay? Y'all, I'm going to go over to the stove, and then I'll pull y'all over in just a second. Thank y'all for the support. Would y'all hit that like button for me, though? Damo, would you type in, are you locked in? Would you give us that hashtag, are you locked in? And that will send our friends over. Thank you, Coach Manring. I am still sweating from your workout, sis. Still sweating over here. I know Coach Manring is going to give me a like button. Coach Manring, I'm using extra virgin olive oil to cook my salmon croquettes in. I can't even get cooled off. But I'm going to take me some extra strength Tylenol. So we're using white cornmeal. Yellow cornmeal will work as well. They must have substituted this because I know I normally get yellow cornmeal for salmon croquettes. Okay, y'all friends. We're ready for the stove. So what I did first is I put my diced onions, and they were frozen, and I had them thawing, just sitting on the counter thawing, about 3/4 cup of diced onions. And they thawed, and I just put them in a little bit of EVOO just to soften them. And then I added them to my flaked salmon along with 1 egg. We've got 1 egg in here, and some cornmeal and some breadcrumbs. If you don't have breadcrumbs, y'all, you literally use bread or saltine crackers. Just crumble them up. And we use the egg as a binder, kind of like our meatloaf. So I want to make sure this gets good and hot. Let's see where we at. So y'all, we're going to cook this first one. We're going to cook this first one and see how she do. And then we'll know if we need to add maybe another egg. I don't think it's going to be another egg. We probably just need to add more cornmeal or breadcrumbs. Every can of salmon is different because there's so many different brands. So I'm going to get something to put these on. I'm going to take them out of the good old skillet. So I'm going to just cook that one, and then we'll know where we're at. For those who are just coming in, we drained our salmon. We're using 1 can of canned salmon, canned Alaskan pink salmon. I drained the liquid off of the salmon and reserved it because sometimes you may add a little bit too much cornmeal, or you may have added too many saltine crackers crushed up or breadcrumbs. Y'all, thank you for joining my live. Yep, I'm quite sure Maddox was with me on my first day doing a live. So yeah, ooh, y'all, this smells amazing. This smells amazing. Ooh, those onions smell so good. Now this skillet is getting where we need her to be. Now she's getting where. So I am going to cook this one all the way through just to make sure that my pan is at the right temp. I was trying to rush it a little bit for the sake of the live, but no need to rush it. Y'all, this is KendyK all day. And I'm just going to drain this on some paper towel when I take them out. Let's see where we're at. She looks good. You want it crispy on the outside and moist on the inside. And so just like tuna fish, y'all, just like sardines, you don't have to cook this. You can eat them cold. You can eat them straight out the can. So all we're doing is warming these up. There's no such thing as you got to cook it until it's done cooking, because it's canned, just like canned chicken, canned tuna, canned sardines. It's raw and you can eat it just like that. Like people eat salmon on top of a salad. Same. Now, we put 1 egg in here, so we do want to, you know, cook that egg through. And you can make your croquettes. That's just being fancy, y'all, calling it a croquette. I think that was Chicken said that he just calls them salmon patties. And you don't have to use Alaskan pink salmon. You can just use jack mackerels. Mackerel is a canned fish as well. Y'all, you make these as big as you want, or as little as you want. So I've got a whole pan, a whole bowl here. And I am going to put these in some wax paper, put them in a Ziploc bag, and they're going straight in the freezer. Yeah, as I grew up, I did not like salmon, but at some point, salmon croquettes, but at some point, me and all my siblings love salmon croquettes. We request our mama to cook them. Thank you, Damo. Looking good? Yeah, this was white cornmeal, friends. So if we did not have, if we had yellow cornmeal, these would be a little bit darker. That's what we're looking like, friends. And it looks like we're good to go. So I know that this consistency is pretty good because when I flipped them, they did not break all up. If you need to add a little bit more saltines, breadcrumbs, and or cornmeal. And the cornmeal is just going to give you a good crusty on the outside. That's why we add that cornmeal. When I went to flip them, they would break apart. So they kind of remind you of a sausage patty or a little small slider type hamburger patty. Y'all, thank you for joining the live. I'm so excited. I'm a new YouTube content creator in these YouTube streets. And I'm trying to reach my first milestone with 500 subscribers. And y'all, I'm a little over 100 folks away from reaching that milestone. So if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to your girl. This is KendyK all day. So Damo, does this kind of remind you of how your mama used to fix? Or how your mama fixes salmon croquettes? Yeah, I'm gonna try to let these get a little bit more brown. And you may need to add additional extra virgin olive oil. It just depends on the pan that you're cooking them in. Yeah, y'all, thanks for rocking with me. I appreciate you stopping through. I know a lot of people, especially content creators, are trying to support many folks. And I'm okay with that. Y'all, this is KendyK all day. Damo says the salmon croquettes was one of his favorite meals growing up. Same. By the time I got in my teens, yeah, I love salmon croquettes and rice. We'd have salmon croquettes and rice. Trying to check up under there, make sure I got a nice crust there for y'all. And again, if you don't like that consistency that I'm going with here, then you can certainly cook them a little bit longer. You can also add a little bit more cornmeal and or saltines. Sometimes I overdo it and my batter ends up being a little too dry. And in that case, you would just take some of the liquid that you drained off and add it to your fish mixture. Y'all, thanks for joining my live. I appreciate y'all stopping through and hitting that like button on your way in or hit it on the way in. Otherwise, that's kind of like coming up in my house and not ringing the doorbell, right? The door is open, but you don't just walk in. You got to announce yourself, so you got to hit that like button. Kind of like the doorbell, right? I'm just joking with y'all. But thank y'all for hitting that like button. I appreciate that. This is KendyK all day. I'm gonna move this around. Yeah, so do you see that this one can of salmon croquettes, it really goes a long way. So consider this as a breakfast meal, and one of my favorite meals as a child with my siblings and my mother and father was to have breakfast for dinner. Yep, so sometimes we would have salmon croquettes, rice, Homemade pancakes. Yeah, this meal will take you back. And so when you think about, y'all, in case you didn't know, we are in a recession. And so with that, we know that that's going to bring an increase in inflation. So things are going to be more expensive. So I encourage you to get things like tuna fish. Man, Stardust Dreamer, she done really took us back. She said commodity food. Yes. Now I don't recall them having mackerels and salmon on the commodity, but that commodity cheese made the best macaroni and cheese and grilled cheese this side of heaven. Right? Right. Yeah, I mean, y'all, we don't, the way things are moving with our federal government, we don't really know where we might end up. So, I don't know about y'all, but baby, I read the signs on the wall, right? Have you ever heard that phrase, you gotta learn how to read the room? I'm gonna add just a little bit more olive oil to this, y'all. And the signs are telling me that you need to make sure y'all have plenty of food, right? Fill your freezer up. Fill your freezer up and make sure you have some canned meats because y'all, it's a lot going on in this country and we're a global society now. So whatever's happening in the U.S. is absolutely going to impact other countries, other nations. The tariffs are back in place. Y'all, watch and pray. Now that's Bible. Okay? But let me teach you a code word. Watch and pray means prepare. Get prepared. Prepare, y'all. For some strange reason, I took off my other glove. Now, I didn't turn it on, but I would turn on the fan above the stove. That pan ready now, ain't she? You hear her talking? She ready. Y'all look at them salmon croquettes. Look at them. And they freeze beautifully. They freeze beautifully. So y'all, I made meatloaf yesterday. And if I'm not mistaken, I scheduled, because I did the meatloaf before my fitness class and put it in the oven. And I didn't get a chance to come back because it got late. So I think I scheduled a short to come out later on this evening so I can show you how pretty that meatloaf came out. My God, today. Well, I hope this made you think of happy times and y'all, that right there is the whole can of salmon croquettes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, y'all. Y'all, these are busting. J-Mo. Fire. Y'all better have some. I know y'all hear me over here smacking. Y'all, I was raised in the South now, y'all. Y'all have some. Have some. I'm going to go ahead and get my vegetables started. First thing I picked up, some Green Giant, lightly sauced vegetables. And this has broccoli, carrots, sweet peppers, and a light garlic herb sauce. I'm going to put them in the mic. And they cook right in. Like things like this, y'all, are like $1.50 in the store. $1.50. And this is 2 servings. Watch and pray, y'all. Watch and pray. That means prepare. Watch and pray. We're making salmon croquettes. This is KendyK all day. Yeah, it's something about the consistency that's just real good, y'all. That little crust on the outside, but nice and moist on the inside. It's that egg that does that. As it is combined with that meat. Y'all, look at all these salmon croquettes that I now can meal prep. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to keep some of these in the refrigerator. I'm probably going to eat one with my vegetables. Let me turn my microwave on. And then I'm going to keep nibbling on another one. Y'all, this is fish. Whenever you get through, this is fish. Ooh, I wish I could have some white rice, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my whole freezer is full of those little boxes of veggies. Yep, these will go into the freezer. I will put wax paper in between them. I'll put wax paper in between them. And then put them in a Ziploc bag. They freeze beautifully. And all you do is just warm them up. When I warm them up, here's our other ones. Look at that. Y'all, this is KendyK. Oh my goodness, Supreme done made it up in here. Supreme View has been on one of my cooking lives. Y'all, just like that, salmon croquettes are done. Y'all drop in the chat. Let me know. What do you cook with your, what do you eat with your salmon croquettes? Y'all, they bussin'. They bussin'. Y'all have some. They bussin'. Salmon croquettes are bussin'. They bussin'. They bussin', y'all. Y'all, this is KendyK. Don't tell me Supreme View eats salmon croquettes. So, y'all, this is my little pillow. Because, y'all, I literally work from home. I work remotely from home for my full-time job. And I spend a lot of time sitting in a chair. So, every little bit helps. This is KendyK all day. This will be my vegetable to go with this. I sure want me some rice and gravy, but I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. Y'all, look at them salmon croquettes. Look at those salmon croquettes. Mm. Look at them, y'all. I'm just. I say, you know what? I think salmon croquettes might be a good cook-along meal. Y'all, salmon croquettes. Salmon croquettes, y'all. And that's my microwave saying my veggies are ready. Y'all, this is KendyK all day. Y'all, thanks for checking me out. I appreciate you. I know everybody's trying to support everybody, and I hope that you enjoyed my salmon croquettes. I'm about to tear these up, y'all. I'm gonna eat like 2 of these with my veggies, and then I'm gonna let these cool. Now, to freeze these, you wanna let these completely cool, and then I'm gonna put mine in between wax paper, kind of like hamburger patties, and then put them in a Ziploc bag. They freeze beautifully. When you want to warm them back up, then what I do is take a paper towel and dampen the paper towel, because you don't want these to get dry. You don't want them to dry out when you heat them up. And you don't even have to unthaw them. Straight from the freezer, wrap them in a moist paper towel on a paper plate or a microwave safe dish. Put them in there for about 1.5 minutes, and there you have it. Y'all, I'm gonna come down from this place. Y'all, I'm so super excited that I actually was able to get these accomplished. KendyK is tired, y'all. Coach Mean Reen wore me out. And she has class again tomorrow night. She has class on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But tomorrow night is my late night working. And so I won't be able to make tomorrow's class for y'all, KendyK. Whew. But I'm enjoying the journey, and y'all, thank y'all for joining me for this live. I so appreciate y'all. Goodbye for now. Y'all, these right here, she did that. Y'all, thank you so much. Goodbye for now. Damo, I am so super excited that you are enjoying this. Thank you. Thank y'all for joining me. This is KendyK, over and out. Goodbye for now.